spooky looking mocap animations that don't look great, and some of the dialogue is super cringy. And then some stuff is actually kind of cool, like Ryu and Hulk shoryukening the big Monster Hunter thing, and Chris talking to Frank and all this shit. Is like, there's some cute moments, all right? Zero and X doing their bullshit. It's like, there's some interesting stuff going on here, but is it worth it for like a Power Stone character or Phoenix Wright or the roster potentially being 50 characters at launch instead of 30? I don't think so, man. I mean, yeah, honestly, as gamers, people are ungrateful, and it's absolutely true. There's always something to gripe about. I'm personally gripe about a ton of shit. But that's just because I hold Capcom to a very high standard, and I consider myself a very diehard Capcom fan. Does that mean that I'm a fanboy? I used to be. I absolutely used to be. Even back when Marvel 3 came out, I would say I was a Capcom fanboy because I didn't like a lot of the roster in Marvel 3. Like, I thought Marvel 3's roster, for as diverse and interesting as it is, really didn't have a lot of characters I wanted to play. Oh my god. It like had Wesker, and I played like Iron Man at the beginning, because I just didn't know who to play. And Doom was like wonky at the start too, so it is what it is. You're never gonna make anyone happy with the roster. I feel like Marvel 3 actually became a really good game when Infinite came out. I'm sorry, when Ultimate came out, and you got like Phoenix Wright and Strider and Nova and all these other characters. So, yeah, you know, and I know that's an unpopular opinion. I know a lot of people really like the roster of Marvel 3, but after coming from something like Marvel 2, after being like, man, to me, the roster of Marvel 3 was like, I feel this is just like Tatsunoko versus Capcom 2. So, yeah. Zoosphere, thank you. Dream picks from Marvel Infinite, Regina from Dino Crisis, and Fiona from Haunting Ground. If Fiona showed up in something before like Captain Commando, I'd be upset. But that's an interesting pick if she had like the dog. And Regina, I think, would be cool. However, here's the thing. With Regina, she's fairly similar to Jill, right? In terms of what they do and like how they combat things and shit and what their character traits are. And that's where I'm thinking Regina has a very small chance, because if Jill comes back, there's no way they're bringing back Battlesuit Jill. No, I don't think anybody was a fan of that character. I'm sorry, very few people were a fan of Battlesuit Jill. Like, I'm fairly sure I'd be speaking for many people, but bring back Resident Evil 1 Jill. Bring back Stars Jill. Pyrotank, thank you, dude. And Stars Jill essentially does a lot of the same things that Regina would do. I don't know, that's just my opinion. But I think Regina would be cool. I mean, if they had to start putting in some female characters from the Capcom side, I would take Regina over fucking Frank West. Like, Jesus. If Regina like summoned dinosaurs that would like frantically come in and do crazy bullshit that she had to like dodge and avoid, and they would like fly past them just like how Frank brings in zombies, that'd be sick. That'd be super sick. Unfortunately, Dino Crisis is like a 20-year-old game, and the last one was about dinosaurs in space, and nobody bought it. So, yeah. Tessa would be sick too. You know, here. You want a female Capcom character that would make everybody happy? That is a legacy Marvel vs. Capcom character, and in fact is an original Marvel vs. Capcom character. Just bring back Ruby Hart. Just bring back Ruby Hart. Jack, I don't even think it's an unpopular opinion. He says, unpopular opinion, I'd lose my shit if Ruby came back. Ruby Hart is a super interesting pirate chick character that does a whole bunch of interesting bullshit. You get really interesting gameplay, summons pirate chests with ghosts in them and shit. She's like, she was in the wrong game. Like, and she's pretty bad in Marvel 2, considering how crazy that game is. Ruby's a cool looking character, and she's interesting. So, I don't think anyone would be disappointed if Ruby Hart showed up, because she's an original NPC character. Right? It's just me. I like talking about the roster of these games because to me, the most interesting thing in Marvel vs. Capcom games is the roster. And now that the roster is lacking, it's an interesting comparison to try to look at what could be improved upon. Because I'm pretty sure there's going to be some extended coverage for this game in terms of like active platform support, you know? Like they're gonna probably do stuff with it for years from this point forward. Granted, unless it sells like 30 copies. You know what, here's the thing, Magus. I don't really hate Frank West so much. What I hate is the fact that he took the place of Leon Kennedy in Tatsunoko vs. Capcom. And then has subsequently shown up in 3 Versus games now. 3, Frank West is in 3 Versus games over Leon Kennedy. That's the part where I'm a butthurt. That's the part where I'm a little like, fucking Frank West again? Are you serious? Like, that's the part where I'm like, ugh. But I don't blame you. Like, I honestly don't blame you guys for liking Frank. He's an interesting character that was a part of a huge part of Capcom's success, which was Dead Rising. That was a very big part of the Xbox 360 era for them. So I get it. I completely get it. But fuck, man, fuck. Leon should take Chris's spot. Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. I don't know how Chris ever made it in ahead of Leon. I don't know. Don't know, chat room. I don't know. This is the stuff I actually care about. Like, I actually really care about the roster of Marvel games. Yeah, Chicago's 50 grand, and it is. It's the only place I can get it to. Spencer, I don't even want to start. I don't even want to start with Spencer. Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. Yeah, Resident Evil 2 rework. It's like, you know what? I mean, how much more sense does it make if at E3 next year, they're like, hey, finally, here's Resident Evil 2. Check it out. Trailer, you can play a demo, Resident Evil 2, and hey, guess what? Leon is now going to be DLC in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Like, to me, that makes perfect sense. To me, that's like the way they would do it. They would use Marvel Infinite as a platform to push their latest Capcom games, their latest Marvel movies, and shit like that. So, I don't know. And I don't think I really have a problem with that. I really don't think I have a problem with that. Like, if you can expand the roster in that way, then okay. As long as you balance it out with not just new characters and give us some classic ones and stuff like that. Bring in the X-Men, bring in the Fantastic Four. Jesus, man, this stuff is really expensive. Screw it, I'm gonna keep killing. I want Gambit back too, I know. Servbot? Yeah, right. I think Servbot goes very well if Tron is in the game, but alone, not so much. How much longer are you playing? I'll be here for a bit. I think people would be pretty upset if it was a Leon skin, Super D. If it was just like a Leon skin on top of Chris, I think people would be pretty upset. We've been wanting Leon in a Marvel vs. Capcom game since Marvel 2. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a pretty big backlash when Marvel 2 came out of why the hell is Jill in the game and not Leon. So even back then, people were complaining about the roster a ton, and people wanted Leon instead of Jill. So I don't, it is what it is. People are always going to be upset about the roster. The problem is that, man, if they had just added all the Marvel 3 characters or all the old Marvel 3 characters, it would have been fine. No, Jill was in multiple Resident Evils. She was the main girl in RE3. Holy shit. This is scary. I didn't have to turn.